behind this. But up next, we're going to have a conversation with the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Louisiana. Here she is. They let her in the building. Angel Nelson, good friend of mine. Your organization's been around since 1860, and we're going to talk about all the great work she's doing in the Capital Region. Back with that in just a moment. So Angel Nelson is the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Louisiana. You are here in Baton Rouge, you're in New Orleans, you're in Gretna. Am I forgetting an area?
Slidell and Covington.
Slidell and Covington, and we partner together on a number of community issues. But let's start with the most basic question. What programming do you provide?
So Clay, we focus in 5 core areas. And of course, it's education, healthy lifestyles, character and leadership development, the arts, and then sports and recreation.
I mentioned in the tease going into the break that the organization was founded in 1860, and you were telling Judge Johnson the story about that it was founded by how many women?
4 women.
4 women, and it started as the boys' clubs?
Yep, it surely did.
And they were looking for something for young people to do way back in 1860, a problem
right.
we're still trying to deal with right now. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know, we want to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. But we want to make sure that all the kids we serve have a plan, graduate on time, and then have a plan for the future. Yes, and so that's what our programs provide. But I think what's most important is our partnerships too.
Yeah. So when a kid comes to Boys and Girls Clubs after school, what happens?
So the first thing they do is they start a program called Power Hour.
Okay.
Power Hour is our homework help, and so they have to do an hour of homework, and even if they don't have homework, they have to do something educational within that hour, and that's where the partnerships come in with the universities, the schools, older kids in the community that come to the Boys and Girls Clubs. We want to make sure that we help the kids do their homework, and then there's extra tutoring as well. Yeah,
you know, since you've been CEO, I've seen how hard you work with the kids here, and we were talking in commercial break. I want to stay on my mark so Alyssa doesn't come yell at me. We talked about the investment aspect of public safety, making certain that kids have something to do constructive when they're not in school and on the weekends. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't get them when they're young, Clay, then that's where we have the problems, just like, you know, Judge Johnson said, you know, earlier in your segment. So I think 83% of the kids we serve are ages 6 to 18, and if we cannot get them then and have that impact with them and give them something to do, give them hope and opportunity, and provide a safe place for them to learn and grow, then that's where we're going to have those problems when they get older.
You and I are also a part of the Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation, and there is currently an initiative between Boys and Girls Clubs and the foundation to put a facility in North Baton Rouge, the Inspiration Center. And this facility will house programming and activities, and we hope it'll be a model that we can replicate across the parish.
Right.
Because we have to invest in the kids.
Yeah, and the most important thing is not just the kids, it's the families, as well.
Well, mention that a little bit, because you get the kids, but there's also programming that does help the entire house.
Right, provides wraparound services. We'll be able to provide programs for kids, for parents, whether it be educational, social, emotional, partnering with Department of Family Services, the state, EBR schools, hopefully, again, talking to Judge Johnson, you know, doing something with OJJDP where we do things with the court in a diversion program. So look, even having a washer and dryer in there so people can come and wash their clothes as a family. I mean, there's so many things that the Inspiration Center will provide for not just the youth, but the families within the community. And that's where we start changing the generational thing.
Talk about it. I got about a minute, the summer and the summer programming that you'll have available.
Yeah, so our summer program is going to start June 10th, all day from 7:30 to 5:30. We will provide breakfast and lunch and a snack. Again, those programs, I think it's so important for summer because of summer learning loss. And so again, being able to partner with EBR schools, really give that enrichment as well. But I want to make sure the kids have fun too.
And how can people learn about the programming if they want to sign their kids up?
They can go to our website, www.bgcmetrolouisiana.org.
There's a website. You can log on and sign your kids up and support this organization. Make a donation too. They will take your cash.
They surely will.
It takes money to feed these kids. All right. Next week, we're going to be talking about the aftermath of the crime session and the regular regular session that's on the way. I'm telling you what, Johnny Asian was in here and booby-trapped my earpiece. That's what's going on. We're going to have a conversation after we finish the show. But we'll talk a little bit about the session that ended and the one that's on the way on next week's edition of The Clay Young Show. And again, don't forget to check out podcast225.com and hear my conversation with Judge Don Johnson. See you next week.